Don't move. Don't blink. And whatever you do, don't listen for the sound. Because the moment you hear heels walking in a boarding school at night, it means something knows you're awake. And you were never supposed to be. This is not a myth. Not a rumor. Not a story seniors made up for fun. This is the true origin of Madam Koi Koi. It always begins after lights out. That uncomfortable silence. The kind that feels heavier than noise. Mosquitoes buzzing. Thin mattresses creaking. Someone turning slowly under their blankets, praying sleep comes fast. In boarding school, night is not for rest. Night is when everyone listens. Then one step. Not rushed. Not loud. Like whoever it is has all the time in the world. Another step. Closer now. Inside the hostel. Every student knows the rule. If you hear it, don't sit up. Don't whisper. Don't call a name. Because Madam Koi Koi does not chase sleeping students. She hunts the ones who are awake. But she wasn't always a ghost. Once, she was human. Her name was Mrs. Grace Adebayo, a literature teacher in an all-girls boarding school many years ago. Always perfectly dressed. Hair neatly packed. Face sharp, like it had forgotten how to smile. And her heels. Those heels were her signature. Tall. Hard. Polished. You could hear her coming before you ever saw her. Students feared that sound more than the punishment bell. Because Grace didn't believe in mercy. She believed fear created discipline. Late to class. Pain. Wrong uniform. Pain. Looking tired. Pain. She rarely shouted. She didn't need to. One look from her could make a classroom go silent. And the school allowed it. Because the principal trusted her. Because boarding schools hide things. Because parents weren't there to see the bruises. Then one time a new student arrived. Her name was Busy. Small. Quiet. Brilliant. The kind of girl who said yes ma so softly you almost missed it. The kind teachers loved instantly. Grace noticed her immediately. At first, she praised her. Made her stand in front of the class. Used her as an example. But something shifted. Because Busy reminded Grace of who she used to be before bitterness hardened her heart. And Grace hated that reminder. The praise turned into pressure. The pressure turned into suspicion. Then one afternoon, Busy was accused of cheating. No evidence. No witnesses. Grace didn't ask questions. She grabbed Busy's arm and dragged her to the staff room. The door slammed shut. Locked. What happened inside that room was never written down. But students walking past heard it. At first, crying. Then begging. Then screaming. Not loud screaming. The weak, broken kind. Then silence. Busy never returned to class. The school said she was withdrawn. Her bed was cleared. Her locker emptied. Her name erased. Like she never existed. But the nights changed. Students started waking suddenly, heart racing, feeling washed. Some claimed they saw a woman standing at the end of the corridor. Tall. Still. Wearing a teacher's dress. Others heard footsteps. Inside the hostel. One student fainted during midnight prayers. Another was found locked inside the toilet at 3 a.m., scratching the walls, screaming that something tried to pull her feet. Then Grace disappeared. No goodbye. No announcement. The school said she went on emergency leave. But the night guard told a different story. He said he saw Grace walking the hostel corridor after midnight. Wearing her heels. But her feet, they weren't touching the floor. A few nights later, the first student died. Found at the bottom of the staircase. Neck twisted. Eyes wide open. Like she saw something terrible right before death. Then another student lost her mind. She laughed. She cried. She refused to sleep. She kept whispering the same sentence. She asked me why I was awake. That was when the name spread. Madam Koi Koi. Because the only warning anyone ever heard was the sound of her heels. Pastors were invited. Prayers were shouted. Holy water splashed. Nothing worked. Finally, an old woman was brought to the school. She walked slowly through the hostel, touching the walls, murmuring words no one understood. Then she stopped. Right in front of the staff room. She turned to the principal and said quietly, "This woman died here." The truth came out. Grace had beaten Busy to death that afternoon. In panic, the school covered it up. Grace collapsed later that night, consumed by guilt, fear, and rage. But before she died, she performed a forbidden ritual. A ritual meant to protect her from consequences. Instead, it trapped her. Her soul was bound to the school, to the corridors, to the sound of her own heels. That was why she returned at night. That was why she haunted students who stayed awake. Because in her twisted mind, sleep meant obedience. The old woman warned them. She does not forgive. She does not rest. And she will never leave. For a while, the activity stopped. Years passed. New students arrived. The story turned into jokes. Until one night a girl laughed and said, "Madam Koi Koi isn't real." That same night, the hills stopped at her bed. Students who claimed to see her described the same thing. Hollow eyes. A smile that's wrong. Heels that never touch the floor. If she calls your name and you answer, you won't survive till morning. If she asks why you're awake and you lie, she drags you. That's why in boarding schools, after lights out, no one whispers. No one laughs. And when someone asks, "Did you hear that?" no one responds. Because the moment Madam Koi Koi knows you're awake, she's already standing behind you. Listening. Waiting. And somewhere right now, she's still walking.